Hello, everyone. This is Mariam Traoré Chazal Noel. I'm a senior policy officer at the International Organization for Migration, the IOM. And I'm here to speak today about the article that I wrote with my colleague Katie Bowers for the Analint Intercultural Trends report. So essentially, we were looking at the interaction between environment, climate change, and migration using the data that the Analint Foundation provided us. So first of all, it's important to understand that many people are migrating in the Mediterranean regions directly or indirectly because of climate impacts. It happens in the countries, in the African countries around the Mediterranean, but also the European countries. So this is a reality that everyone lives through. So looking at the report, we noticed three important data points that we think are important for policymaking. So first of all, the vast majority of people, regardless of their age, regardless of their education level, regardless of where they live around the Mediterranean, they indicate that they have very strong interest in climate impacts. They want to know more about this topic. They want to hear more news. They want to understand better. So it looks like climate change is an issue that transcends differences and can bring people together, since everyone agrees that it's an important topic that needs to be tackled and discussed. Then the second point that we found interesting is related to intentions to migrate. So again, and on both sides of the Mediterranean, the majority of people say that they would just rather live where they are. So they'd rather just have a good life at home. And the proportion of people who want to stay at home is higher in in the countries on the southern shore than the European countries. Having said that, quite a number of people do say that they would be happy to migrate to another country, and the majority of these people say that they would migrate to Europe as a first choice. So, what does this mean in terms of policymaking? It means that first and foremost, we need to work to allow people to stay where they are, because it's the majority of people do not want to migrate. They want to stay in their countries of origin. And in terms of climate impacts, that means doing climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts so that people have access to secure livelihoods, they live in safe environment, and they can remain where they are. But in terms of facilitating migration, now we should ask ourselves the questions: if people have to migrate because of climate impacts, or if they cannot return to specific regions because of climate impacts. From a European perspective, does this mean that we need to look at regular migration pathways, things like visas or special status, to provide a safe haven to those who are not able to remain where they are because of climate impacts? And then the third and last point that we found interesting from this study is that, again, from on both sides of the Mediterranean, the vast majority of people think that their region, their country would gain from closer cooperation on environmental sustainability. So it looks like climate change, environmental sustainability are issues that represent a common ground for people on both sides of the Mediterranean, and they also believe that the region would benefit from closer cooperation in that regard. So thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you all a great day.